head of a British intelligence agency says the threat of terrorism in the UK remains severe. The Director General of MI5, Andrew Parker, told the Guardian newspaper that attacks from Islamic militant groups will be a generational challenge. He also said Russia is among the major threats to the UK and to Europe. Simon McGregor-Wood is in London with more on that interview. Hi, Simon. A lot was revealed in this interview, much of it about the homegrown threats that still persist in the UK. Where does Parker see the greatest danger?
Well, in reference to the Islamic threat, he's quite specific. I think, first of all, we should say this is a very unusual interview. I think it's the first time the head of MI5, which is Britain's domestic intelligence service, has given a newspaper interview in its 107-year history. So it's quite unusual. There aren't many specifics. In terms of the homegrown terrorist threat, though, it is very interesting. He refers to as many as 3,000 extremists here in the UK, most of them British. He refers to the relative success of the British intelligence services in confronting the threat. He says that in the recent years, his service has broken up as many as 12 specific plots. But despite its good track record, MI5's good track record, he does warn in this interview that at some point there will be terrorist attacks in the UK, and he says that the threat from these people is generational. It will last for decades.
Right. He also noted, Simon, that the world's eyes, in a sense, have been taken off the ball, that there's so much focus on eliminating the threat of extremist terrorists that not enough attention is being paid to other rising powers, not least Russia.
Yes, you get the sense that he's trying to warn the British public and perhaps further afield that we need to reset our priorities and perhaps reset the allotment of resources, because he very clearly in this interview also identifies Russia as once again a very, very significant to this, threat to the security of this country. He says that it is using its whole range of state organs and powers to push its foreign policy in increasingly aggressive ways. And he refers in specific terms to the threat of Russian cyber attacks against a whole range of targets in this country, and that is a new element of an old threat from the Russia. So it feels like he's preparing the British public for a long-term issue with the Russians, given Russia's increasingly aggressive posture here in the UK and elsewhere in Europe.
Okay, Simon, we'll leave it there. Thanks so much for joining us with that from London.